My name is Faith Coppola, and I'm going to be giving my speech about my interview with a Mennonite. So, the Mennonite that I spoke to, how I met her is through a coffee shop that I go to. Some of y'all may know from Greensburg, Kentucky, in Campbellsville-ish area. The Farmer's Daughter. They are two Mennonite women who run a coffee shop in the back of, it's in a trailer that they attach to their truck, and they drive around at different spots, and their coffee is so great. It is homegrown. It is delicious. You can look them up on Facebook or whatever. And that's not a plug, but I just thought I'd say that because they're the sweetest ladies that I have ever met. And they were very super sweet to share all this information with me about their culture. So if you don't know what a Mennonite is a branch of Amish that is not the exact same. They have some same similarities, and people do get them confused very often because they dress alike, and sometimes they're just very easy to confuse. I don't know how else to put it because they're a part of the same branch, I guess you could say. And so when I was speaking with her, she told me, well, the first question that I asked her is if she were to make me some type of food, what would it be? And she said poor man's steak with potatoes and green bean casserole and a bunch of different things. But today I'm going to be talking about how the culture of our world has impacted them and how we have similarities with them that we might not have even realized. So one thing that we talked about was building their houses and how they plan that. So when they build their houses, they're very intentional with how they do it. They make sure that they build a living area that is extra big for a bunch of company to come over and just to gather around and talk, because that's just what they do. They are all super friendly. She said that the community is the best part of her culture and she wouldn't change it for the world. Growing up, she said that she had a bunch of siblings and they all had chores around the house, different chores. Everybody had different chores each day, and then they would go to school. And so there were 30 to 35 kids in the school, and they were all taught by the women of their community. And once a week, a man would come in and give a devotional about whatever they were giving their devotional about, and that would happen once a week. And then also once a week, one of the moms would cook a meal and bring it in so they didn't have to keep eating the same lunch that they would bring every day. There was different grades, obviously, with all the siblings and everything like that, but there were usually about 5 to 10 kids per classroom, and the grade levels can group together, and the subjects are all taught by the same teacher because that's just how it works. She also told me that she loves to cook and that cooking is probably her favorite thing that she does, hence how she got into making all this coffee. They actually grow their own coffee beans too, which I think is very cool, and they help out with the harvest part of it as well. So yes, they can drive. Mennonites can drive and they can use phones. They do not have a TV in their house, but they do have decorations up in there. They do not decorate for Halloween or Easter, but of course for Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff like that, which I think is very cool because, we do the same things. So we are really more similar than we think that we are. Another thing that we talked about was if a person from the outside of her culture could join, and she said of course they could if you felt led to do so. So if I wanted to join, she also said that I can go and visit whenever I would like to. Obviously, that is not what God has led me to do. I am content with where I'm at in my faith, but if somebody would want to join the church, it's something that's led to do, that you're led to do by, just communication with God and different things like that. Some other things we talked about were her friends and stuff like that. She can be friends with whoever she'd like, inside the culture or outside the culture, it doesn't matter. And she told me that she loves growing up in that culture that she had grown up in, Mennonite, and she still is a part of it. And she did tell me that she also had friends who were not a part of the Mennonite community, and they did wind up joining the Mennonite community. Some other things that I asked were how her relationship was with the different people of the community. Was it hard to make friends? Were there a lot of people there and stuff like that? Yes, she said there were always somebody there to talk to. You ever had any questions or worries, you just ask somebody and they're there to help you. You know, I live in rural Kentucky, and I know people who have had their houses knocked down in windstorms or tornadoes and such like that. And the Amish will come, even if you are not a part of their community. And I know we're talking about Mennonites, but this is Amish. They will help you build your house in a day. Like, their community, I just think is so fascinating. And I love it. I love talking to her about it. It was so interesting for me to just learn about all those different things. How they dress does get stares, is what she said. Everybody looks at them like they're funny, especially when they go somewhere that they aren't from. Like around here, we all are used to it because, you know, we see them all the time. But like when they go to another like festival for their coffee shop, people will give them kind of weird looks, but she said it doesn't affect her at all whatsoever, and that she honestly kind of likes it because maybe somebody will ask her and then she gets to explain things like that. They home make almost everything. They home make their milk, and they don't home make their milk. They get their milk from a cow, but then they drink it from the cow. It's all homegrown. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was very cool. And the women do help with the harvest of the vegetables and the crops and everything like that. And so I just thought that was very, very cool. She's able to read and listen to music, whatever she would like to listen to. She met her best friend there. That's her best friend, and they can travel wherever they want. It's not like they're held back. I believe that the Amish community is a little bit more strict when it comes to things like that. So that is my speech, and I know it's kind of short, so I'm sorry that it's kind of short, but my speech was not very long, so I'm sorry. But thank you for watching. Bye-bye.